Hello beautiful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's EmpressTeepha here. In today's video I'll be showing you how to make this pillowy, soft and delicious homemade bread. This recipe is easy to put together and very few ingredients is required. These are ingredients you probably have in your kitchen or you can easily buy. So I'll be sharing tips and tricks to get your bread to be soft and chewy, just like commercial bread, without all the chemicals and preservatives added to commercial bread. It's simply pure joy to have bread made in your own kitchen, and I hope you enjoy watching this video as much as I enjoy making it. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Here are the ingredients I'll be using. In the large bowl, I have 5 cups of flour, I have milk, I have butter, I have sugar, I have yeast, I have salt, I have water in those red cups, then I have white vinegar. In the description box, I'm going to leave a detailed list of ingredients. So inside my bowl of flour, I'm just adding the sugar. Then next, I will add the powdered milk. Then I'll add salt. And I'll add the yeast also. So I'm mixing my dry ingredients together so that they are well incorporated. I don't want flour on one side, milk on one side, sugar on one side. You have to mix them very well. So after mixing, I'll be adding 1 cup plus another quarter cup of flour. So all the water we are using is 1 cup and one quarter cup of water. So if you are using, I used powdered milk. If you are using liquid milk, just make sure you use one quarter cup of liquid milk. Okay, and then I've added my white vinegar. The work of white vinegar here is to add something acidic to the dough that's going to mimic the property of the dough improver that they use in commercial bakery. This is very optional, but it is nice to add it. So milk is also optional. It's just for the taste and the creaminess and all of that. So milk is optional, vinegar is optional. So you can use very few ingredients. You don't need so much ingredients for this recipe. So now I'm cleaning my work surface. So I'm just wiping it dry. Before I started, I previously washed it with soap and water. Now I've wiped it dry, then I transferred the dough onto my work surface. So I'll knead until the dough comes together. Now that the dough has come together, it is time to add my butter. I'm using just 1 tablespoon of butter to this quantity of dough. Please don't add too much butter. I'll leave a detailed list like I said earlier in the description box. If you add too much butter or too much margarine, your dough is going to fall apart. But with 1 tablespoon of butter or margarine, then your dough will be fine. When you are mixing the butter, it looks like the dough is falling apart, but it will eventually come back together since you did not use more than the amount said for the dough. So make sure your butter or margarine is not too much for the dough so that it does not fall apart. So once the dough comes together, then I'll start the kneading and slamming technique, and this is to ensure that we get to our Windowpane threshold. There's something we call Windowpane technique in bread making. As at this time, if I stretch my dough, it breaks apart. You can see it is breaking apart. That is because we are not in that window pane threshold yet. For your dough to become bread, for your bread to come out beautiful, chewy like commercial bread, you need to get your dough to the window pane threshold. That is when you stretch your dough and it does not break apart as easy as before. Now look at what is happening now. I'm stretching it. It is not breaking apart. It will eventually break, but after I stretch it so thin, that's when it breaks apart. Unlike before that, it's not even stretching at all. This is the window pane threshold. So if your dough is not passing the window pane test, then it is not bread. You are baking something else. You are probably baking donuts or something. So your bread, you must get your dough to that window pane threshold. That's when you get the perfect soft chewy pillowy bread. So I kneaded and slammed for about 20 minutes before I got to that window pane threshold. So now that the dough is ready to be baked, I'm just rubbing margarine all over my pan, making sure that there is margarine on every part of the pan. So I'm going to place the dough. I have shaped the dough. While I was slamming it, I shaped it. Then I put it in the pan. Then I covered it. I have also buttered the pan so that it does not stick to the pan while baking. So now I made another batch, and this is going to be the round bread that you saw in the beginning of this video. So I'm going to cut this into 8 equal parts. So I divided the dough into two, then I pick each piece and divided into two. So I'll just keep going till I have 8 pieces of dough. So that way my dough will be almost the same size. Or another thing you can do is, if you have a kitchen scale, you can just cut and put on the scale to make sure that they are the same size. But if you do it like this, you get roughly the same size, maybe not the same size, but roughly the same size, and your bread is going to come out beautiful. So just cut into two, take one piece, cut into two, take one piece, cut into two, till you get the required amount of pieces that you want. So that's what I did, and I have 8 pieces right now. So I'm going to shape my dough into round balls. I'm tucking it at the end, making sure that the upper part is very smooth. So the place that I tucked in, which is the rough part, that's what I'm going to place down on the inside the pan. The smooth surface is going to be up. That's going to ensure that we have a nice looking bread. So to bake the bread on stove, I'll allow the pot to heat up for like 10 minutes on high heat. Then afterwards, I'll put in my bread. Then I'll put the heat to medium to low flame. The inside of the pot is already hot because I've preheated it. Then I'll lower the flame because we don't want our bread to get burnt. And here we are. Bread is ready. So this is the loaf I'm bringing out of the pan, and this is the buns, the bread buns. I'm bringing that also out of the pan. Now you have to bring your bread out of the pan immediately. You don't want your bread to sweat. If you leave your bread inside the pan, what will happen is that it will sweat. The steam coming out of that bread will settle on the body of the bread. So you have to bring it out immediately and allow to cool. And when you want to cool it, put it on a wire rack. If you don't have a wire rack, put it on a kitchen towel. If you put it on a tray or on a plate, what happens is that part that is touching the plate is going to sweat. Just like I explained why you have to put the bread out of the pan immediately. So you don't want that part to sweat. That's why you have to put it on a wire rack so that they will get breeze equally. Or if you don't have a wire rack, if you put it on a kitchen towel, that part that is supposed to sweat, the kitchen towel will absorb that steam, okay, and your bread is not going to sweat. That's the reason why you should put it on a wire rack or put it on a kitchen towel to cool down. So once your bread is cool, then you can put it inside nylon to keep. And this bread, it can keep for at least 5 days or even 7 days. But the only thing is that it's not going to be as soft as the day you made it. So even without preservative, you can still keep your bread for days, but it won't be as soft as the day you made it. That's the only difference. But the taste, it will still taste very good. Now look at this bread. Look at how soft. Look at it. Just look at the inside of that bread. Omo, this bread is breading. This bread is breading. Please, you have to try this bread. So thank you for staying with me to the end of this video. I appreciate you, my old subscribers, my new subscribers. We are growing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. If you are new here and you've not subscribed, please make sure you click that subscribe button before you go. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.